Hey guys, Wolfie here and welcome back to the channel. As always, the usual disclaimer, any opinion here is mine and mine alone. Now, this is my Micro Center trip for the month of April, and I do have a few things to go over here. Not as much as I anticipated, but alas, it is going to be a few things I'm going to want to go over, the usual, why I went there, what I wound up getting, some of the stuff I've seen, and what this could mean for trends if certain things come about later on this year. And for the record, Sandy here wants to say hi, although he is being a bit of a diva right now. Before I go further for this video, though, this will be one that gets released immediately because the whole thing with Ruby for Volume 9, I still am gathering my thoughts in the sense of like the mental process for the volume review, because I do have to sound off on a few things here and there. But this is going to be like immediately posted to the channel in the sense of like I film it, I post it without a premiere, all that jazz. And like I said, regarding the Volume 9 review, it's going to be next week, the earliest, maybe in a couple of weeks. Then towards the end of May, perhaps early June, will be the Bumblebee video where I give my thoughts on that as a ship. Did it make sense for it to become canon, so on and so forth. So with that bit out of the way, we're going to get into this one, and without any further delay. So I go in here, do my monthly rounds, figure out, okay, is there something for me here to buy or like to get an idea? The answer is yes, and then the same thing from before as a lot of Lee and Lee cases. The 011 Dynamic Family, and you also have the other ones like the Lee and Cool, whatever have you. Now, there is a decent amount from other brands, like Thermaltake, NZXT, Corsair, Asus, etc., etc. So you're going to be seeing all of this. Even there's like a few from Cooler Master. You have a few here from Height. Now I want to make sure I get the type right. So there is the Y40. They do have like some aspects for the Y60, but it's like, really? So here we go. This is some of the cases right here. Again, there's a decent amount of NZXT. Not so much the case. You got Montech, Corsair, a few of those here and there, as you guys can see. And there is a lot of the White 40 chassis at the Micro Center in Chicago. So this is where I do the monthly reviews for that place because I live near it. And by that, I live a couple of miles away. So there's a couple of Asus. You get to see some of the NZXT. So the NZXT cases they are here in Micro Center on a regular basis are as follows. You got the H5 flow, as you can see here towards like the front and the bottom. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you guys get to see. So there are a few H7 flow cases. And then what we have here is the H510 family. There's additional H5 flow right over there. You get some H7 flow, but you get some H510i, I think it is. But it's mostly H5 flow, H7 flow. And for the record, this particular Micro Center here in Chicago, in sense of new in stock, we are still out of the H9 family, meaning H9 Elite, H9 Flow. We are still out. Now, again, this is the Cooler Master. There's not that many here, to be honest with you. Now, regarding the motherboards, it's like there seems to be a lot still available, but it really depends on like what you're going for. If it's like budget, mid-range, high-end, etc., etc. And what I've noticed here a little bit lately, is that a lot of the high-end stuff seems to not sell well, if at all. And there's Fractal before I forget for the cases. So there's it's like not really much of the high-end stuff is selling. You can see here there's like a lot of stuff here is like open box. And then if you look very carefully, you got some X670s, you got some Z790s, meaning that things either may be too high or of some other reason, or they just didn't like it. And then I do want to point out here, this is the AMD, you know, the 670s that are not high end. You have the 650s, all that stuff. But there seems to be a decent amount that's not really selling. Now, regarding the CPUs, you may see, you know, there's so much here the Intel side, and you may see a whole lot on the AMD side, but if you look really, really carefully, I'm going to zoom in here to emphasize, is that it seems like some of the 7000 series AMD chips are selling, as opposed to the Intel. As you can see here, you see a lot of it here, but you don't see as many of the 7000 family, and to some extent from AMD. Now you're going to see a lot of the 4000, 5000 chipset for AMD, not so much on the 7000 side, which could indicate that AMD may be winning. And this is supported by the fact the motherboards for AMD are a little harder to find here in Micro Center than you see Intel. So, regarding the graphics cards, there's only these two for the 4090. However, you're going to be seeing a good number of 4070 Ti as well as the 4080. Now, you also see here the majority of the 6000 series GPUs from AMD. I've seen a couple from Intel sets of GPUs, but not quite. So let me see if I have the photo in the possession here. So you're gonna see me going through a lot of photos, so you're gonna see where I'm going at with it, and a little bit more of the 4070 Ti's. Okay, here we go. Didn't take me long. So there's some stuff here. There's some 30 open box 30 series graphics cards. In addition, open box 4070 Ti's, and an open box. You might not be able to catch it really quickly. I believe that's an XTX on the AMD side, and there's two. I know that's a 7900 power color, and I want to say that's an XTX as well. So there's a lot of that. And there's another open box AMD GPU. So there's the question, it's like, what's selling, what are people liking, what are people not liking? If that makes any sense. So this is another angle of the open box section for GPUs. Okay, so that's an XTX right there. So you really couldn't tell on that one. So you have two XTX 7900 GPUs. The angle there, I can't tell if that's XT or XTX, but it is an open box. Again, you see a couple of 4070 Ti's right over there. One of these, I know it's a 3070 or 3070 Ti right here, the EVGA one. That one I don't have a clue on, so don't ask me. And of course, there's a little bit on the open box section. I'm going to address that in a little bit. Then you have here the coolers, all the other accessories, all that stuff. Now, I do want to address the NZXT AIO coolers here. So here at Micro Center in Chicago, we do not have the new family of the Kraken AIO coolers yet. We are still like having the I was going to say Z73 there for a second. It's actually X73 RGB. So there's a few of those. There's a Z63. So a bit of a heads up for those who frequent the Micro Center in Chicago. We are going. I want to say it appears that we are phasing out the the Z whatever, X whatever here, along with the 120 millimeter cooler. And it's like something that's coming because the NZXT website has the new family of Kraken coolers, which I'm hoping the Chicago location gets in the coming weeks. So I've seen it on the website already. It looks really good in my personal opinion. I just wish the price, and the pricing is fair because it's like, it depends on what you really want in my personal opinion. And this is some of the other AIO coolers. Okay, I was right. There was a C73 RGB. You get to see at least from this photo that I've taken, you get to see at least 4 of these in white and then the 5th one in black, which is like, it's pretty cool. And you have the Z53 over there. And then some of the other AIO coolers. And then the air coolers here, what I've noticed is that there's so many of them. And it makes me wonder, are more people going custom water cooling, AIO liquid cooling over air cooling? It makes me wonder. And I'm not saying it in a criticizing way. I'm saying it because I'm genuinely curious. Because you get to see a good stock of air coolers here. And then this is the other side of that section. It's like, you have so many air coolers, but it's like you have it depends on the brand on the AIO cooler side. It's like, what's selling more? And something tells me I think it might be AIO coolers, because it's like, look at certain CPUs that people are tending to get closer to the higher end of it. Okay. So with the power supply, it's like, I don't think there is as many of these right now. I mean, granted, it's towards the end of the month, but it's like pending a restock. It's like we may see this filled up once again. Now, I said a while ago something about the H9 family chassis from NZXT, right? If you remember that, I found an open box right here. This appears to be the H9 flow case in black. It's open box. I saw this earlier today from Micro Center. If you really want this and you love NZXT cases, you better come to Chicago and snatch this up quick. That is all I'm going to say on this matter. And the reason being is that I'm one of those people where I got really lucky on a restock from the NZXT website directly. But with the open box stuff, in all seriousness, there's a lot of like motherboards, so it's mostly Intel. So I'm thinking here that Intel's not doing as well as some people think they are. And this is some of the other GPUs right over here, where it's like I'm starting to question what's really selling and what's holding on, in sense of like people buy and keep, as opposed to people buying and returning. And this is for the okay. So I went over here for the tablet section. The reason why I'm going over here is that I am going to get myself a tablet for travel when I go out to state like Seattle or whatever. I haven't decided on which tablet to get just yet, but I am beginning to lean towards an iPad. You guys heard this correct. This is coming from somebody who's never owned an iPad a day before in her life, saying that I am considering an iPad. But nothing like top of the line sort of thing. So it's like, I would like to have an iPad to travel with. Because granted I have a laptop, all that stuff, but it's like, there's certain things I want to do with a tablet. But yeah, I am considering an iPad. And there's a few here that's like less than $300. And now the reason why I went to Micro Center. I usually leave this at the beginning of the video, but for some reason I just chose not to do it right away. So I actually wanted to get my buddy where I'm going to be setting out a computer hopefully in a few weeks. This is going to be the stuff that that I'm going to be setting her direction. That way she has something to hold her over until she gets like a better keyboard, a better mouse pad, that sort of thing. Now, there is one item you see here where it's like, it's separated from the rest. It's not like this. Let me see if I have the photo, because I may have taken it sooner than I did. See here. Here we go. I'm actually looking at my gallery, and here it is. So, I wound up getting myself a 16 gigabyte RAM. Now, you're kind of wondering why. So, I'm going to get up. I'm going to show you guys the exact reason why. Now, this is based on a recent purchase of mine via places that I've been to online. So, oh, son of a gun. So, I'm going to angle my phone on purpose. So, that's a 16 gig RAM kit. And where I'm pointing at here, I'm not going to be the world's best at angling this. So, you're going to have to bear with me. Now, let's see if I can do this. So, what I have here is a bit of a test bench. Now, you're kind of wondering, Wolvie, you don't really need a test bench, all that stuff, but in a way, I actually do. You can see, as you can see here. So, this is a bit of a test bench right here. And the RAM was the last thing I needed to complete it. So, that's the reason why I got the RAM. But everything else you saw here in this photo is actually for the buddy. Because I want to make sure, she has everything she needs, like, to make sure her computer, which is right over there, to make sure it's all good. So basically, it's like having something basic until she gets better stuff for herself, like a better keyboard, a better mouse pad. I also got her like a little rest thing, or like a rest thing, for her. Which is it right here. This is it right here. For the mouse pad, so whenever she moves the mouse, so she doesn't have to worry about the whole thing with her putting pressure on her wrist. And I also got her a spare HDMI cable as well as a spare DisplayPort cable. Because I told her that she's basically on her own regarding a monitor, a desk, and a chair, because it's like something I really like. I mean, I can put input here and there on it, but it's like something I simply cannot buy. It's like, it's going to be way too much money out of my pocket on that one. But, overall, in the sense of like the shopping trip, it's like, it was really good for me, because it's like, I got, I managed to get everything that I wanted to get for her, and by her, my buddy. I want to make sure she has everything she needs outside the monitor, desk, and chair, so that way it's like, she could just like plug it up and play. And which was my end game intention with the build, because I was thinking maybe she could get all this stuff done on her own. But it's like, as time went on, and I actually had to think over a lot of things, it's like, I'd rather her do it herself. In the sense of like, let me rephrase it. So it's like, as time went on, I'm like, you know what? Let me just get Windows in there, get like an administrator account going, and as well as like a user account, so that way things can go like the way she wants it. She gets the programs that she wants. And on all of that, so for the main video for the trip to Biker Center, it's probably gonna be just browsing, and with the side possibility, just like, let's see, they have an Intel graphics card, so that way I have one, just for collection purposes. But on all that note, so like I said, after this video is not only filmed and posted, itchy nose a little bit. So after this video, I'm probably going to be doing, instead of like intentionally like thinking and planning, it's going to be the Ruby Volume 9 review on that one. Then, like I said, it's going to be either towards the end of May, early June, for the Bumblebee opinion video. And in between, I'm working on a special video for Ruby. It's Summer Rose's fate. It's my prediction on what happened to her. Because I do have a feeling something happened, and I do feel it's going to affect the relationship between Yang and Ruby, but that's a bit of a brief thing there. But to recap this video, this is the reason why I went to Micro Center to get a bunch of stuff for the buddy, as well as to finish up my test bench, because, hey, you need all the stuff there, like, to make sure it works. That's first and foremost, and then some of the stuff you've seen, like, for example, let's see here, the graphics card situation, you know, it's a bit of like up in the air in the sense of like which one you're going for. It's because it seems like the 4090 is like quite popular still. You have some open box stuff, like, and the range is all over the place. And there is an NZXT H9 Flow open box in Micro Center Chicago. Whoever really wants one better get off their ass and get to it now, because we all know it is a popular chassis. And then you have here, you know, the power supply. You know, it's slightly on the lower side at this point, but it comes down to a restock that could change things. Now, regarding the coolers, I do feel that AIO coolers, as well as custom water loop coolers, are doing much better than air coolers, in my personal opinion. Now, as for things like, not so much graphics cards, but if you look at things like the processors and motherboards, I do feel that the Intel is not as popular here in the Chicago area as it is AMD, and more specifically the 7000 series chips from AMD, alongside the 650, the B650, X670 family for AMD is seemingly winning the battle at this point. And for chassis stuff, Lee, there's still quite a few of those available here. I mean, I don't think it's as many as a month ago, but it seems like there's still a lot of those available still. And with NZXT cases, it's mostly H5 flow, H7 flow. You're not going to see much else here. I mean, I honestly don't know when the Micro Center in Chicago is going to get any more of the H9 Flow or the H9 Elite. I honestly don't know, because it's been out of stock here for the H9 Elites for some time. And it's just a matter of NZXT, you know, really like getting their heads out of their ass and producing some more. But again, that's just my personal opinion. And there's a lot of the height Y40 case here, so it's like I think it's going to come down to budget, preference, what you want in your build. Pardon me. And I mean, for final thoughts, it's like I saw an email on the matter earlier today. I would not be surprised you're going to see even more of some stuff here in stock. And with a potential recession around the corner, alongside a new Micro Center opening up later on this year in Indianapolis, Indiana, it's going to be interesting to see what happens from here on out. And that's all I really have. With Wolvie here signing off, I will catch you all on the flip side.